Let me say something that most financial advice will never tell you. Your bank account is not your problem. Your identity is. Think about the last time you said, "I'm just bad with money," or "Money's tight right now," or "I could never afford that." Those are not observations. Those are declarations. And your brain, your incredibly powerful, pattern-seeking, identity-protecting brain, heard every single one of them and believed them. And then quietly, consistently, invisibly, it built your financial life around making them true. This is what I mean by a broken money identity. Not that you are broken, not that you are bad with money, not that wealth is not available to you, but that the story you have been telling yourself about money has been shaping every financial decision you have ever made without you even realizing it. And today, we are going to change that story. Stay with me because this one is going to hit different. Here is something that changed everything for me when I first understood it. Your money beliefs were not formed by you. They were formed for you. By the time you were 10 years old, you had already absorbed a complete set of beliefs about money. What it means, what it says about you, whether people like you deserve it, whether it is safe to have it, whether wanting it makes you greedy, whether losing it means you failed. You absorbed these beliefs from the adults around you, from watching how your parents talked about bills, from overhearing conversations about money that were meant to be private, from the messages your culture sent you, consciously and unconsciously, about what wealth looks like and who it belongs to. Researchers call these money scripts, and studies show that 3 out of 4 adults have at least one destructive money belief that they are completely unaware of, actively shaping their financial decisions every single day. Not because they are stupid, not because they do not try, but because nobody ever showed them the script they were running. So before you can change your financial life, you have to see the script. Let me explain what money identity actually means. Your identity is the story you tell yourself about who you are. And it is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology, because everything you do is filtered through it. If you identify as someone who is creative, you find ways to be creative. If you identify as someone who is disciplined, you find ways to be disciplined. And if you identify as someone who is bad with money, you will unconsciously find ways to confirm that story every single time. You will overspend, not because you are irresponsible, but because your identity expects it. You will avoid looking at your bank account, not because you are lazy, but because checking feels like confronting proof of who you are. You will self-sabotage opportunities to earn more, not because you do not want to succeed, but because success would contradict the story, and your brain is wired to protect the story above almost everything else. This is not a personal failing. This is psychology. And like all psychology, when you understand it, you can change it. Now, here is the midpoint of this video, and I want to stop here because I want to ask you something, and I want you to actually answer it. In the comments right now, tell me, what is one money belief you grew up with that you think might still be affecting you today? It could be something someone said, something you watched, something you felt. Just one. Write it below. Because naming it, actually putting words to it, is the first step to seeing that it is a belief, not a fact, not your destiny. Just a story someone told you, or that you told yourself a long time ago. Here is what the research actually shows about money identity. Behavioral economists have documented extensively how our beliefs, not our income, are the primary driver of financial behavior. One landmark study identified 4 distinct money belief patterns, what researchers called money scripts. And 3 of these 4 patterns were directly correlated with lower income and lower net worth. Not lower intelligence, lower net worth, because of what people believed about money. The scarcity script, the belief that there is never enough, leads people to either hoard money anxiously or spend it impulsively to escape the anxiety. The avoidance script, the belief that money is dirty or dangerous, leads people to ignore their finances entirely. The worship script, the belief that money will finally make everything okay, leads to chronic dissatisfaction. Never enough, never enough, never enough. And here is the one that I think most people in this niche carry: the status script, the belief that your financial situation says something about your worth as a person. When money equals self-worth, every financial decision becomes emotionally charged. Every decline feels personal. Every setback feels like evidence of who you are. And you start making decisions from shame and fear instead of clarity and strategy. That is not a money problem. That is an identity problem, and it has a solution. So, how do you actually change your money identity? Because I want to be clear, this is not about affirmations. Standing in front of a mirror saying, "I am wealthy," when your bank account says otherwise, that is not going to do it. Identity does not change through words. It changes through evidence. Every time you make a financial decision that aligns with the person you want to become, your brain updates its picture of you. Even small decisions, especially small decisions. You transfer 20 pounds into savings, not because it will make you rich, but because it is what a person who takes their finances seriously does. Your brain notices. You look at your bank account, even when it feels uncomfortable, not because the numbers are perfect, but because it is what a person in control of their money does. Your brain notices. You say no to one unnecessary purchase, not because you are depriving yourself, but because your future self matters more than your present impulse. Your brain notices. Each of these small acts is a vote for a new identity. And identity is built on votes, not on declarations. Over time, the story changes, not because you forced it, but because you proved it. There is one more thing I want to address, because it is invisible and it is powerful. Your financial identity is not just internal, it is social. Researchers have found that we unconsciously mirror the financial behaviors of the people around us. What feels normal with money is largely determined by who you spend time with. If everyone in your social circle struggles with money, that becomes the baseline. Struggle feels normal. Stability feels aspirational. Wealth feels like it belongs to a different category of people. This is not your fault. It is biology. Humans are wired to match the norms of their group. But it does mean that if you want to build a different financial life, you may need to expand who you let influence your thinking about money. Not to abandon the people you love, but to deliberately expose yourself through books, videos, communities, conversations, to people who think about money differently than you grew up thinking. Because the money identity you hold right now was built by exposure, and it can be rebuilt the same way. Let me bring this together. You are not broke because you work too little, or earn too little, or know too little. You may be financially stuck because of a story, a set of invisible beliefs about what money is, what it means, and what kind of person you are in relation to it. that has been running silently in the background since childhood. And that story can be rewritten.
Not through wishful thinking, not through financial tips and budgeting apps and savings hacks, but through the slow, consistent, deliberate work of building a new identity. One decision at a time, one vote at a time, until the person you are becoming becomes the person you are. So here is what I want you to do after this video. 2 things, both small, both powerful. First, identify one money belief you carry that you did not consciously choose. One script from childhood or culture or experience that has been shaping your decisions. Write it down, name it, and then write next to it, "This is a belief, not a fact, not my destiny." Second, make one financial decision today that the person you want to become would make. Not a dramatic change, one decision, one vote for your new identity. Because the shift from a broken money identity to a wealthy one does not happen in a moment. It happens in the moments. Every quiet, unsexy, consistent choice that adds up over weeks and months and years to a completely different financial life. And it starts now, with you, today. If this resonated, watch this next, because understanding your money identity is one thing, but the daily habits that actually build wealth, the ones the 1% practice that most people never learn, that is what comes next. It is on your screen right now. I'll see you there.